The Art of Commerce is a podcast featuring conversations on creativity and conversions. Hosted by Anish, a data-obsessed creative director, and Jinx, a growth-obsessed CMO. Listen on for actionable insights for the modern marketer.
Aniket, there's so much hype around AI, man. Everyone wants to get in on it. But it's only as good as you can have value out of it. Tell us about adoption. Tell us about what are some challenges or concerns that you hear from your clients when it comes to adoption, and what makes a successful AI adoption across any company. What are some ways to ensure that your journey in not only implementing that technology but also getting real value out of it? Is there some secret that you've discovered in your time working with this technology for a while now?
Yeah, so one of the insights that we've had is that there's two things that people always want. I feel like there's a definition of value, which is I feel like it's about your desired outcome, but then also the time and effort and sacrifice required to get it. And the challenging thing is that there's a lot of folks that will work with an AI company or AI SaaS vendor that has a super easy onboarding. Typically they're wrapping around ChatGPT, but then the performance isn't there because they're not actually training the model to become smarter. But it's very quick to get up and running, get a POC to check a box. Hey, we have a tool for this. What we're doing is our onboarding process is much more involved because in order to really get the value of the AI, like I mentioned, it's about the data sets you feed in and also the techniques that you use. And so if you think about that as a 2x2 of hey, what are the data sets that you're feeding in and what are the techniques you're using? We're on we're taking a lot of data and then we're using the most state-of-art techniques. That requires a lot more participation from the merchant to get this right. The upside of that is we're the only people that I know of that are offering guarantees against hallucinations and downside risk because we're actually training a model, training out the undesirable behavior and training in the desirable behavior. And so going back to all the hype around AI, it's you kind of have to view this as much I think people should view a platform like Shopify. It's hey, this is now a new this can unlock incredible capabilities and distribution and growth for my business. But I need to invest into it, and that's going to require. And one of the challenging things, probably, I wasn't around when Shopify was growing in the early 2000s. I was a kid back then, but watching The Matrix, right? But the challenge is that these when you're using breakthrough technology in these early days, you're all figuring it out. Shopify is not a very mature platform because it's been over 2 decades. But right now, everyone building an AI, the platforms are nascent and are growing. And so brands have to have that mindset of hey, this is think about where the future is going. I'm going to partner with folks and build the rails to get the performance I need, but realize that everyone is figuring it out.
That's awesome. Aniket, I am exactly the kind of guy you mentioned a few minutes ago. I am a web merchandiser. I use my CDP to identify customer segments for my day job. Then I manually with marketer logic create those site experiences. How can a tool like yours make my life easier and also make me better at my job? Or is it gonna put me out of mine?
Yeah. So there's a couple of great questions there. So let me answer the existential one first and say no. I'm a big believer that that AI is going to create more opportunities for people, and we can talk more about that because it's such a loaded and interesting topic. But back to your question, Anish, is hey, you're using CDP systems to create audience segments and then launch campaigns and target incidents. Is that right? And then your question is, how is it that this tool can help that workflow, right? Yeah, that's such a great question. So the number one, so there's to me there's 3 components of that. So to me, AI is getting to a place where it can orchestrate entire workflows. So let's work. What we can do is go to the future. Let's go 6 months to a year out from now. We'll be at a place where AI can start to do there's multiple components of that, but the first component, identify the right the right segments, and then create and orchestrate and then the next part is creating and actually orchestrating the campaigns, which is going to be typically using the existing tools that you might have. You might use High Touch, or you might use Bloomreach as a CDP. So using those, and then from there, executing campaigns and evaluating against those. So the AI, there's going to be a set of systems that can actually either through MCP protocols or through actually just interacting through the UI, actually execute workflows. But they're going to require human supervision. So that's where today, I believe there's already a number of jobs where you're now a curator, right, of what AI does, and that's a really, really important skill set because only humans really know what good looks like. Right? So I believe that that's what's going to happen is that, like, but imagine that if you had like an army of like AI interns that are creating and orchestrating these campaigns, like that could make you far more productive across a remit of different experiments you could run, especially because what AI can do really well is start running simulations against things. And so that'll unlock your unique human perspective, which is, I think, what humans are good at. And my controversial take here is I don't think AI is actually good at is genuine creativity and curiosity. And so that will help you like focus in on like how do you think about different simulations. Loving the reactions here. I feel like we're definitely on the same wavelength. Is like, hey, you know how to
yeah, we're totally. We'll see. Keep going, Aniket. We'll put our wrapper on it in a second.
I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. So yeah, like you'll have like this is going to take some time, right? It's going to take some iteration as someone who's building in this space, but like you'll be at a place where you can start using these different AI tools to be like simulate against things to see like, oh, this is or isn't working, and then go tell the intern to go do things. As you know, I've been privileged to have had like a lot of support and leverage with like chief of staff and EA. And one of the most amazing things about that is it makes me like 3 to 4 times more productive because I have someone who can help me just focus on the things that I'm disproportionately good at. And I think that that's not just true for, I think every human has that, but there hasn't been the leverage that democratized that leverage for everyone. I think that's what AI unlocks.
Yeah, Jinx has a very hard take. Jinx, do you want to tell us what you think about ChatGPT and taste?
Yeah. First of all, I love a couple things. One, I love the idea of the curator and the conductor. Like I've said conductor, but curator, I've never heard. Like I love that so much. So I think that's just a great analogy of what it can do. But you made a really good point. Like if you think about like, you know, old school analog, like strength finders, if anyone did that that's listening or anyone here, like, hey, you know what your strengths are and you're supposed to lean into them. I mean, all the great, you know, coaches and business coaches, and they're like, actually don't try to make your weaknesses better, right? Just focus on your strengths. And you made a great point, which is like, actually, what AI is doing, what ChatGPT is doing is allowing people to actually do that. Because in reality, you have to do your weaknesses because the boss asked you to do a spreadsheet. And you're like, I suck at spreadsheets. Like, what the hell? Now it allows you to do that. So the democratization of focusing on your strengths, like we're going to see all that. That's going to be burned in my memory. I'm going to write that on the wall. It's awesome. But the last thing is, we've said it before, right? And you hit it, which is, you know, AI doesn't have taste, right? Like you said it a little differently, but that's the way we say it. AI doesn't have taste. And so no matter what OpenAI says about ChatGPT 5 and being funny or what, it has no taste, right? It has none of that creativity and taste that can be baked in. So what we say is the human element is really 3 things. It's taste, it's timing, and it's tools, right? A human needs to have that creativity, that taste to say what's up. They need to have the timing, right? Okay, do we launch this product now or later? What's the moment? ChatGPT can give you some guidance. It really doesn't know the zeitgeist of what's happening with humans. And then tools, I mean, you have to pick the right tool for the job. You know, you can't just be like, I'm going to use a hammer to screw in this screw, right? You need to pick the right tool. And these are the 3 things for us, at least, as we've been unpacking this, that humans bring to it. So I love that's when you saw us like, basically saying hit those bars, you know, like on the there's no creativity. That's what that was about. So
yeah, I'm Jinx. So we're totally tracking on the same page about how like what these large language models are actually doing and what that means for people who are using them for work and also personally.
That's awesome. So we talked a little bit about Envive and what it's going to do for an organization. But the thing I talk about a lot and what we're struggling with is like, what about the customer, right? You're going to put AI in front of a customer. You're going to tell them the shopping experience, right? You're going to take all this knowledge that normally they would go to their local guy and get that. The difference though is local guy has trust, right? How do you, for the customer, build trust in the agents, in the service you're building with the multi-agent philosophy?
Yeah, it's such a great question. And it's also challenging because there's two like stakeholders here. There's the merchant, and then all the complexity within an organization, and then there's the actual end consumer. And you want to build trust with both of those entities, with both of those stakeholders. And so to me, trust is about like just speaking conceptually, right? Like building trust to me is about um, competence, it's about honesty, and it's about reliability. Like if you have those three things, then you have the ingredients for trust. And so for me, what we've engineered into our system and how we've built the architecture of Envive is those three things from an AI perspective. So like we make our AI more skilled, and then and so it can optimize towards the outcomes that customers care about, but then also reliability. So being able to consistently deploy this. So the way that we do that is we have automated evaluation. So we have a set of agents on the back end that are always trying to jailbreak the system and make sure it's always adhering to guidelines. That's really important because if a system is getting better over time, its behavior might change in ways that aren't actually desirable. And so it's important to always be pressure testing it. And some of our customers are in regulated industries where they could be fined by the FDA, by the FTC if they don't make the right claims. So it's actually business critical to make sure that reliability is in place. And then the third part is honesty. And honesty is a really interesting thing, right? Like what does that mean to have a honest system? And so what we do is we're not here to be moral arbiters. We're here to help people with their businesses. But what we do is create the set of tools so that the AI can be controlled by merchants to reflect what their truth is. And that sounds like an abstract idea, but just to make that very concrete, right? Like one of the things we do is train on brand voice, right? Like so honesty and authenticity go hand in hand. So we want something to be fully authentic because nothing breaks immersion more than when you get an email from someone and you're like, oh, you use ChatGPT for that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like the worst thing ever. Yep. That's like, maybe that email isn't dishonest, but it doesn't feel right because it's not authentic. And honesty and authenticity go hand in hand to me. It's like the same thing, right? So what we do is really train on the brand voice to become fully branded 100% of the time. So to me, those are the three components of building trust for consumers and merchants alike.
I love that, and I love that you hit honesty. I mean, I certainly when we talk about AI on this podcast, certainly when I've listened to others, that never comes up, and I just didn't. I think that's an awesome way to phrase it, and you're right, like. When you know someone's writing on ChatGPT, you're like, so kids, delete those M dashes. Come on, like be real. Like, yeah, come on, those dashes. Yeah, come on. We know where it's coming from. Come on. Yeah. But so okay, so we talked a little bit about to Envive about the company. We talked to Envive about the customer. From your perspective, right? You're building this, right? You're maybe not on the ground floor, maybe on the first floor, but you want to be at the top of a 100-floor building, right? When you're at the top and Envive succeeds. How does the shopper experience change? And what's the vision that you have about how this all comes together?
Yeah, what a great question. Where's this all going, right? Like, I always go back to consumers and consumer behavior, right? Like, I believe take a look back and then we'll take a look forward, right? Like, every 10 years, there's a big technology breakthrough that really changes consumer behavior fundamentally, right? Like first there was the internet, and then there was a great businesses like Shopify built on helping merchants succeed because of this new consumer behavior of being on this connected world and this new distribution channel and helping businesses thrive in this new world. And then there was mobile, right? And then there was a business like Attentive that came up that helped merchants succeed in this mobile first world. And today, like 80% of our traffic from across customers is all mobile web. So and now that this new breakthrough is AI. So like I believe consumer behavior will always gravitate towards what is going to be the easiest, most engaging way to shop. And so our perspective is we're using all these data sets and we're building this infrastructure that enables our merchants to have empirically the best AI because it's learning from their consumers' actual behavior to get better. And so to me, it's like, well, what would it look like if, for example, if each website was personalized to each user because, it's using some sort of, let's say, just for example, an MCP protocol to understand from OpenAI, who might have all the data about like what someone's preferences are, like what is meaningful to them. And so the site becomes one-to-one. So like imagine I go to Burton and suddenly it's like, hey, this is Aniket's version of Burton.com, right? Where it's all fully, all the assets, everything about the site is for me and what I want, right? And that also is the same set of tools and protocols that will allow in the future, if I have an AI shopping on my behalf, it's coming back with the exact set of results for me. Like we know that there's a really important future for retail because someone has to actually be thoughtful about understanding consumer needs, designing products, manufacturing them, buying inventory against them, warehousing that inventory. Like there's a really important role for retailers. But in order for them to like thrive and own that end user interaction, what needs to happen is to really build that like 10x end-to-end experience where they can really thrive. And the way I see this all going is if you can really think about what that looks like and expose that in a way that 10x reduces the friction today of discovering and buying the right products, you will win, right? It's just about investing to get there and understanding that this is a space that's moving quickly, but consumer behavior will always gravitate towards the easiest, most delightful ways of shopping, and AI is a potent tool to unlock that.
Sounds like in your future, I don't need to be a millionaire to have a personal shopper. So it's a great customer experience. And as a marketer, I'll have so much intelligence and efficiency. It's a good time to be in the business too.
100%. Like, well, that's what we'll begin to see. Like, if you look at even other verticals of AI adoption, like in legal, right? Like before, you had it was very expensive to as someone who employs legal counsel, I'm sure you all do too. It's still very expensive to use legal counsel. But AI, from what I've heard when I speak to our counsel, is revolutionizing a lot of the time-consuming aspects of things. So law firms can take on more clients, but also the billables can become lower. I haven't experienced that myself. I feel like they're holding on to margin, but that's what we're hearing from the people deploying these tools.
Yeah, well, it's so funny. One of my first jobs was just doing that, going through contracts, and like you actually can't copyright contract terminology, like, right? So you could lift anything you want from a contract, and basically I would go through all these contracts and be like, okay, this is a section that worked here, this section that worked here. Like, you don't need me this kid to do that, which was fraught with error probably, et cetera. Like, and then you needed to go send it to outside counsel for review. If ChatGPT can go through it, or even better, to your point, a proprietary GPT that understands the nuances of everything and breaks down some of the firewalls that ChatGPT has, you're exactly right. Like, that should like increase your productivity from a legal perspective, like tenfold. Like, so that's unbelievable. The thing you said though, that's really interesting, that I just want to marinate on a little bit, is with ChatGPT, with the AI, everyone talks about the death of the website. Like, do you even need a website anymore? Like, who's going to go to the web? Like, back to the, do we need SEO? We need AGO or whatever, GEO or whatever. But you made a really good point there, because you said, actually, look, if your website is personalized for Jinx and it's Jinx's website, like version of the website he's going buying guitars, it's Jinx's guitar website. He knows what guitars he wants. He's a hack guitar player. He's not going to spend that much because he still sucks, like blah, blah, blah. Here are the things for you. Then actually that there's a reason to go to the destination, right? And like that. So anyway, I'd love for you to expound on that a little more.
That's exactly right? Like, think about this, right? Like, Google released this image model called Nano Banana. Well, you guys may have heard of it. It's fantastic at asset creation, right? Like, just coming up with this as an example use case, right? Like, imagine a world where you're going to a site. I don't think that for every site, everyone wants to see like images of them, wearing different clothes or whatever it is. But there's some really interesting applications for that where it becomes very personalized for you, and that's quite powerful, right? And maybe it's also coming through on the email campaign, right? Like, the way I think about it is that like a website, email, these different ways of brands to interact with you, these are potent levers to form a better relationship with you. And the website might just be the point of sale. Like, maybe it'll be an agent that's emailing you, depending on the nature of the business. Like, let's say that you're, I'm going to give you two examples, right? Like, imagine that you're a woman who's transacted a lot with Spanx, right? Like, at this point, like, Spanx is your go-to for shapewear. And if Spanx is emailing you, it might be emailing you assets of like different ways of how shapewear could work for you. And it's giving you the reviews of women who are in your same like height, weight situation, right? And so it's personalized to you, and transaction is happening fully agentically, being orchestrated from an agent that's working on email, right? That's one vector. The other vector is that, like, just for the site itself, Jinx, to your original point, right? Like, if you go to Skims, for example, it's a very different experience than Spanx. They're both shapewear brands, but they have very different audiences. And Skims has a much more like its focus that seems to be more youthful, and the images and the static and the experience, the site experience is much like that. And so there's so much leverage for them as a business to just double down on the site experience. And so that's where we're bullish that iconic brands who really reimagine the site experience to be best in class for the next wave of consumers and using this technology in creative ways will win, because the last 20 years of e-commerce have been a search box, a grid of products, and different merchandising logic for what shows up when. What happens when that can be all fully customized and configured to create a much better, much more personalized experience than you could have had without a lot of the tools and people required. Like, for example, we talked to a brand that has 70 people in the Philippines doing data labeling. What happens when you don't need all that? Because most people can't make that investment. What happens when you don't need all that? And you now have data enrichment that drives that personalization engine in an automated way. Every site becomes way more personalized and becomes better. And consumers will gravitate towards that.
That's awesome. Unbelievable.
You just blew my mind. So many great ideas and use cases in there. Oh, man.
Yeah. So, Aniket, can we, we're coming to time. I know you got to drop. Can we keep you for a quick lightning round? Ask you a couple fun questions? Okay. All right. And Anish, you got anything else before I hit it?
No, let's go.
All right. Okay. What's the last thing you used? And I'm assuming you used ChatGPT. So what's the last thing you used ChatGPT for?
Last thing I used ChatGPT for was actually New Zealand trip planning, last minute logistics. Fun fact for y'all, travel agency, traveling 70% of their traffic is not coming through generative engines just because of how challenging trip planning is.
Yeah. Wow. Opportunity. The hashtag
Huge.
opportunity.
Huge. Yeah.
Cool. All right. What's your hidden talent?
My hidden talent is that oh man, I know what the immediate answer is, but it's fun to say it. I'm generally right.
Oh, all right. Okay. Generally right. That's what I say.
No hallucinations there.
Yeah. That's what I say to Anish all the time. He doesn't agree, but whatever. Okay. What's one thing marketers should stop doing?
What marketers should stop doing is taking a point solution or kind of siloed approach to tools and deployment. That's a lot what we can see. I can expand on that. I know it's a lightning round, so I want to respect that.
That's awesome. We'll get you back on. We got a lot to talk about. What's one thing every marketer should try in 26? So you had a stop. What's a start in 26?
Start looking at performance-based tools and AI tools around that. Obviously, we have one. There's others in the space, but really start looking at tools that are focused on, hey, we're going to do this thing, but it's backed by some unambiguous performance guarantee that will separate the wheat from the chaff.
Oof, love it. Last one, I promise. One word. This is hard. One word to describe the future of AI commerce.
Outcome-driven.
Okay, I'll accept that. There's a dash in there. I'll accept it. I was hoping you would say
There's the hyphen, yeah.
But that's great. All right. Well, that was Aniket Deosthali, CEO and founder of Envive. Amazing conversation. Aniket, thank you so much for taking the time. This is unbelievable. You have a crazy busy schedule, so thank you for taking the time. If you guys like what you're hearing and you're interested in learning more about Envive or Aniket, go to envive.ai and learn more. Connect with Aniket on LinkedIn. He's active. He'll answer questions. He'll post really great stuff. And then if you like this, of course, subscribe to The Art of Commerce, hit that like button, and let us know who else you want us to talk to, what other things you want to cover, and we'll have more great conversations like Aniket. So, Anish, anything you want to hit him with?
No, thanks for joining. Aniket, this was a great conversation. Can't wait to catch up and have more of these in the future, hopefully.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, Aniket, great to see you. Great to see everyone there in podcast land. Like, subscribe. We'll see you soon.
See y'all.
This is The Art of Commerce, featuring conversations on creativity and conversions. If you found value in today's episode, follow the show, leave a review, and stay tuned for more insights for the minds reshaping modern marketing.